So welcome back guys, and in this video we are going to see the XPath functions. Okay, so starts with is the first function we are going to see. So starts with function helps to find out the dynamic web element. Okay, so now what is the dynamic web element? I'm going to tell you. So for the dynamic web element, we have come over the salesforce.com, the old website which we used in our previous video. So now I am inspecting this, the placeholder first name, and then coming on to this tag of this placeholder. So this is the placeholder we have inspected, and it is inside the input tag. Okay, and these are the attributes. If you look carefully at the ID, it is user first name and then hyphen GQXV. Okay, GQXV. If I reload the page, see, input ID is equal to user first name hyphen LYJ7. It was GQXB. Okay, last time when the previous version of the page was opened, it was GQXB, and now this has changed, but the first portion of the ID is user first name, that was constant. It is LYJ7, and if I again reload it, you'll see that the ID's last portion has again changed. You see it here, G1C1. Okay, so this is how this portion is dynamic in the ID attribute of the input tag. Okay, so ID is a dynamically changing attribute. So if you want to locate this particular web element placeholder via the ID, so you need to use the starts with function of the XPath. So let's open the PPT. So starts with function helps to find out dynamic web element. Okay, you've seen what dynamic web element is. Okay, you can use it to match the starting value of the web element which remains static. Okay, so we have seen that the starting value was constant. So if I show you user first name, this thing is always constant. Okay, so this starting value we can use in order to locate our the dynamically changing web element. Okay, so you can use it to match the starting value of the web element which remains static. Okay, so for example, I have chosen an ID value. Okay, or any value can be dynamic, any attribute can be dynamic. What I mean to say that here we have found that ID is dynamic. Okay, name can be dynamic, name can also have here hyphen something. Okay, if I name can be like this, it can be basically like 2233, and if I reload the page, then it can become 3344. Okay, so it can be like that. So any value can be dynamic. So let me come back. So we can use the dynamic static portion. So for example, I have taken any attribute which can be dynamic. So I have taken user as a constant value. Okay, and again user as a constant value, and when I reloaded the page, first time it had 2 3 4 5 6 after user, and again it came up with a new value 6 6 7 8 6. Okay, for suppose this is, I must write here ID is equals to, okay, and then again I need to write ID is equals to, and this one was on reloading the page. Okay, suppose there's a page as I have shown you in the example. Okay, so coming on to the next point, we can see that it can also be used to find out an element whose attribute value is static. Okay, so what does this point mean? That for suppose you have name is equals to first user name. Okay, so you can just write the starts with function for the static web element or the attribute. Okay, you can use it. I'll show you how to use it. Just wait. So the format of using the starts with function is XPath is equals to / tag name starts with @attribute and then comma single inverted comma value. Okay, for example, if you need to locate this particular first name via the dynamically changing ID attribute, then we need to write this particular format of the XPath. Okay, this one. So we need to go to the Eclipse IDE, and then we need to we have the same page of the salesforce.com and start my free trial page, and then we were maximizing the window, and then we had to find the element, so via this particular syntax. Okay, this particular syntax we are going to use in order to locate our this particular web element via this particular attribute. So we need to copy this, and we need to provide it in some of the other way. So we have to write / tag name was input, and then we need to provide this square brackets, okay, and then our format says starts with, and then this curved bracket, and then attribute comma value. And then we need to use the attribute that is id, and then we need to give a comma, and then we need to provide double inverted single inverted comma, and then provide the value. So our value was this, but we need to remove this dynamic part from this value, okay, because that is why we are using the starts with, okay, because the id value starts with user first name. So let us now save this program, and this particular XPath is in accordance with our this particular syntax, okay. Double slash tag name starts with @attribute comma value. So that is what we have written, okay. @ is missing, so I'm sorry. Yeah, so double slash input starts with @id, and then in the inverted comma user first name. So let us save the program, and then we need to run it. So you can see the Chrome browser has been launched, and it will maximize the window after loading the website completely. So it typed hello new user in the first name placeholder, okay, because it realized that this is this particular web element is being called via this particular XPath. So this is how we use the starts with XPath function in order to locate a dynamically changing ID or attribute, okay. So the second point I need to explain you, the other point was the it can be used to find out an element whose attribute value is static, okay. So let us for example, we have name and then user first name. This is a static value, okay. It is not having a dynamic part. Even if I reload the website, then this will never change if I inspect it and show it to you. The name is equals to user first name. So the name is equals to user first name is same. So let me copy this user first name, and then let me change something in the script, that is @id. So name is equals to user first name, and yes, name @name comma, and then inverted single inverted commas, and then user first name, and let me save it and then run it. So again, our placeholder will be identified hopefully, and hello new user will be typed in over the name placeholder. So first name placeholder over here I'm talking about, because we have again identified this particular first name with a static attribute, okay, whose value is not dynamic. Okay, so it identified again with a static attribute, okay. So hello new user is being typed over the first name, and then it closed the script after the 5 seconds. So this is how we use the starts with function, and in the next video we are going to see the another XPath function. So keep watching till then and keep learning. Thank you.